Hello, and welcome to Conversations with the Pros, the video series that helps educate current and future homeowners. I'm Janessa Pano, a real estate agent with Shore West in Southeast Wisconsin, and thanks so much for stopping by. So I'm super excited about today's episode, and it's all about organization. I'll be talking with Jennifer from Everything in Its Place, and we'll be discussing the benefits of organization in your everyday life. So part of the reason I was so excited about this is obviously I use it in my own world and absolutely feel the need to be organized. Otherwise, I feel a little out of control. But I remember looking back to when I was a new homeowner and kind of taking the space from one area and having to fit all of that stuff into a completely different configuration. And it was a struggle. I see an absolute benefit for people who are looking to sell their homes if they need assistance in decluttering, if they need help packing some stuff up, or if they're looking for just getting rid of things prior to moving. I mean, why take it with you if you're not going to use it? So services like hers are absolutely beneficial for that. So stick around, it's going to be a great episode. So thank you so much for joining me today, Jennifer. I'm so excited to be talking about organization with you. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm geeking out, but that's okay.
No, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me about your business.
Okay, so Everything in Its Place offers professional residential organizing services, which means that I come into people's homes and I help them to clear out clutter and get organized. A lot of times I'm working with folks who've been struggling with organization for a while. Maybe it's a room or a space in their home that they've wanted to tackle, but it's just gotten to a point where it's overwhelming. And I love to be able to come into those situations and help people to get control of their environment and really to help lift the mental and emotional weight that clutter and disorganization can put onto people. But I also help people who are moving. So on the front end of a move, I can help people declutter. So they're really only moving the things that they need to. Sometimes people will think, well, I'm just going to move everything and deal with it in the new place. But then
Crazy.
You've gone through the effort of moving everything, and it's really not easier to deal with on the back end. I can also help people unpack once they've moved, so we can get them set up in an organized way and kind of get things up and running as quickly as possible. So that's what the company's all about.
Those are amazing things. I mean, I know that it is a lot for people that are looking to list their homes and sell. It's stressful, so being able to kind of take that off of their plate and assist them through that time is totally invaluable. But obviously the rest of us that aren't buying or selling right now, I mean, there's just updating the organization in your own home can certainly lift the oppressive feel of clutter. So that's awesome. So what are some of those tips or quick tips that you would have for people that are trying to organize their home and then maintain it?
All right, so the first thing that you want to tackle anytime you're doing some organization work is to declutter, because really organization can only get you so far if you have more stuff than you can reasonably fit into a space. And then when it comes to organizing, what you want to do is to keep like things together in the same place, store things where you're going to use them, and make sure that the things that you use the most often are the most accessible. So for example, in your kitchen, you want to keep, say, your spices all in one place and keep those near the stove where they're really easy to grab when you're cooking. And then something like your blender, if you don't use it as often, can go kind of in the back of a cabinet. And then, as you said, the last step is to have some systems and a schedule for maintaining your organization. So you might decide you're going to go through your mail once a week, or declutter your wardrobe at the end of every season. And it's a good idea also to have a bag or a box available to put things that you want to donate, so that as you run across things that you don't need anymore, you've got a place to put those.
Yes, that is huge. I will say, for me, our trouble areas are like our kitchen counter, because you mentioned mail. It always kind of ends up there, and either I'm not looking at it or my husband doesn't either, and then all of a sudden we got a pile, and it's like, where did this come from? Or our kitchen table, especially at the end where we're not sitting, tends to be a collect-all, right, of stuff that needs to go out to the garage, or something that I'll deal with at another time. So yeah, just getting into that rhythm of like, hey, it has a place, it needs to go back to its place.
Yes, and just because you mentioned mail again there, one quick tip I have that can help there is to set up an inbox for your mail, and just have that somewhere in your home where it's really easy to drop mail in there just on your way into the house. And as you're coming in, try to go through and pull out the junk mail right away and get that recycled before the mail even gets to that inbox.
That's huge, except for if I send you postcards for real estate. You can certainly look at those.
Oh yes, absolutely, no question.
So spring is right around the corner, hopefully, right? And a lot of us are starting to think about spring cleaning and kind of going through our closets and stuff. You mentioned having a box, but what other tips can you provide for somebody that is wanting to tackle that right now?
So the big tip I would give is to do that decluttering. That's a really perfect opportunity to do that. And a couple of things around that. One would be that as you're working on your closets and your cupboards, pull everything out. So it makes it, of course, a lot easier to clean in those areas. But then you also have like a full inventory of all the stuff that you're storing, and it makes it a lot easier to make decisions about what you want to keep and what you don't need to keep. So for example, in your coat closet, you might find you have 6 pairs of gloves, and it'll be easier to let go of 3 of them when you know you still have the other 3 that are your favorites, for example. Mm-hmm. I would also say around decluttering, sometimes that can feel like a really negative, kind of heavy task to people. So to put kind of a more positive perspective on that, treat it like you're shopping. So it's really about picking the things that you want to keep, as opposed to picking out the things that you're going to get rid of. You really want to make sure that what you're keeping are the things that you need, use, and love, and you let the rest go. It's really not about getting rid of as much as possible as it is about being able to store and then also enjoy and appreciate the things that you have.
That is great advice. So how can people get a hold of you if they want to use your services?
So probably the easiest thing is to go to my website, which is everythinginitsplace-organizing.com. There's a form there you can fill out to contact me. And then my email and phone number are there too.
Excellent. Well, Jennifer, it was a pleasure speaking with you. I was so excited by our conversation, and I hope that others get a lot of takeaway from that as well.
All right. Well, thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. If you know somebody who's in the housing trades or a professional that would be interested in talking with me for this video series, please send me a message, private message me with their contact information. I'd love to connect with them. Make sure to like and follow Janessa Real Estate on Facebook and Instagram. I also created a YouTube page, Janessa RE, which has all of the Conversations with the Pros series on there. We're doing this series throughout the year, so I'm always looking for content ideas. Definitely reach out to me. And for all of your real estate needs, either here in Southeast Wisconsin or anywhere else around the world, let me know. I'd love to help.